Good evening to you, everybody. In a few minutes here on the Town Hall, we'll continue our coverage of the shooting and stabbing that happened yesterday on the grounds of McKinley High School here in Buffalo. First, though, there has been a lot of reaction to changes to the state's mask rules. As of today, the mandate no longer applies for all indoor public places like stores and restaurants, though they could decide on their own to make you wear a mask. There is some confusion out there, so we asked 2 on Your Side's Dave McKinley to simplify it for us.
Bottom line, for businesses from restaurants to stores to gyms and barbershops, it means they can, if they wish, still require customers to wear masks. But they would no longer face fines or other punitive measures if they don't. The National Federation of Independent Businesses called it welcome news for New York small businesses, which it says for nearly 2 years now have wrestled with ever-changing and taxing public health mandates, while noting other states, including those neighboring New York, had already eased restrictions. Some larger retailers locally have announced their plans. Wegmans, which was never really forceful about the mask mandate when it existed, was among the first to officially say customers were no longer required to wear them. And the area's largest mall, the Walden Galleria, says shoppers don't need to wear them, while reminding, though, that if an individual store wants shoppers to wear a mask, they can still do that. We also got questions regarding the HERO Act. That's a state law that essentially required employers to impose a mask mandate on their employees as part of an overall safety plan. With Hochul's announcement yesterday, it created a potential scenario whereby you might be allowed to enter a place of business sans mask, but the cashier or the waitress serving you would still have to wear one. That law was updated just this morning to now read that if indoor areas do not have a mask or vaccine requirement as a condition of entry, appropriate face coverings are recommended but not required. Here again, though, it doesn't preclude an employer from still requiring their workers to wear a mask as a condition of their employment. But here again, it leaves the choice up to the business owner. At the same time, individual municipalities can still impose their own mask mandates. Now, the only one to have one in this area is Erie County, where County Executive Polenkar says it remains, but only for county-owned buildings. For while it may be true that the CDC would consider the transmission rate and number of new cases statewide to now be in the moderate to low category, which factored into the governor's decision, Polenkar says the same cannot be said in Erie County.
We are still considered in the high risk of transmission of COVID due to having approximately 208 cases over a 7-day period for 100,000 population.
Are you looking for maybe moderate or even low before you would lift it?
Well, it would be moderate. We'll also review it. If it appears that the numbers continue to drop, but we're not just in moderate, we might lift it at that point.
Now, to address another question we've been getting a lot of, we'll just note that KeyBank Center is a county-owned building, therefore, and the Sabres confirmed this with me. Nothing changes there yet in terms of their current policy, which is proof of vaccination to be admitted until the county rules are relaxed. Michael.
So, Dave, what about other entertainment venues which, would not be owned or under the control of the county?
Well, Shays Buffalo hasn't returned our calls, but we did notice on their website today, they're saying they're not only keeping their mask requirement in place, but also, as of now, they still plan to deny admission to children ages 5 to 11 starting next week unless they have proof of vaccination, which had been required for older patrons before, although it says they will continue to assess their requirements. While Salem Sports Park, as you would know, an entirely different venue, says they are done with masks entirely.
And of course, just to kind of wrap this up, Dave, we should probably note that there are still mask requirements for certain entities statewide, most notably, no doubt, schools. And I guess that's going to be revisited, we believe, in early March.
Yes, but an important thing to know here, Michael, that also goes for gatherings at schools, such as school board meetings. And the mask mandate remains for those entering hospitals, shelters, prisons, and on public transit, as well as nursing homes, where you also have to show proof of a negative COVID test to visit.
All right, Dave McKinley reporting live for us. Thank you very much, Dave.
All right.